A similar question, but different, was left by Eric Pereira 5086, who asked, Como você aprendeu português? Which means, how did you learn Portuguese? So, I do not have any Brazilian family. I am not Brazilian at all. But I actually was married to a Brazilian guy for, I guess, like 6 years. And we were together longer than that, and I actually lived with his family in the United States, but they are from Brazil, and so his family would always be speaking in Portuguese to each other, and I was very curious, so I kind of just started paying attention and asking what different words meant, and they were always watching TV and movies in Portuguese, so I'd watch with them, and music, everything. So, yeah, I don't know. Before long, I was starting to, understand more than not. I'm really bad at, writing in Portuguese, because I learned by listening only. So sometimes when I see a Portuguese word, I'm surprised because it's written different than the way that I know it, which is by hearing it. So yeah, that's how I learned. He and I broke up a couple years ago, and I don't really have any Brazilian people in my life at the moment in person. Also, I saw some people like Mr. Anderson asking, where did you get those foods about the Brazilian snacks that I had tried in the other video? So they have these little Brazilian markets around. There's a lot less where I live now, but when I used to live by Orlando, they have them everywhere. Like, there's tons of them. And they import food and snacks and stuff like that from Brazil. So, I used to go there a lot with my ex's family and my ex in the past, so I'm pretty familiar with those. And, so, yeah, I drove like 40 minutes to go to a little Brazilian store to get those snacks. Elaine underscore rabbit 7 asked where I'm from, and she said some really nice things, so thank you. So I live in Florida in the United States right now, but I was born in the New England area of the United States, and I lived in New Hampshire and Maine before moving to Florida when I was about 13 years old. I've lived in other places since then, but yeah, I'm back to Florida. K. Brewski1 asked, is Eden your real first name or your professional name? No, Eden is my real name. That's what I was named when I was born, so I'm a true Eden. More Blol asked, what does this tattoo mean, if you don't mind me asking? So it's a date, to be honest. When I went to get my first tattoo, which was, I have one right here. When I went to get my first tattoo, which was that one, and then this one, honestly, I wanted to get a Roman numeral one on my arm, and I had recently gone through this time in my life where there was this one day that I felt like it was the end of a chapter and the beginning of a new part of my life. To be honest, now I don't really think that day was significant, but that day when I sat up in bed and I thought, like, it's different now, I'm gonna remember this day forever, this date. So I guess, like, when I needed a date to put, that's the one I just chose. But honestly, it was more so like I was kind of going through a difficult time mentally when I got these tattoos, and so I just kind of wanted to do it, and it was just like the only date I could think of. Bosner7 asked if I could do a video teaching English. That could be really fun, yes. I don't know how I would do that, because I don't know that I speak Portuguese well enough to explain English